Hello and welcome to part two of this NFL draft special as it concluded on this Sunday. Uh, if y'all are new, please like and subscribe to the channel. Been around for about less than 2 months. Got probably approximately about 50 videos already out there. I keep putting on content, so if y'all want sports talk, sports videos, different topics, all kinds of different videos, breaking news, stuff like that. Feel free to like and subscribe, and welcome to the channel, especially all you first timers. All right, let's break into it. This is part two of the draft special. Now, my previous video, if you want to look at it, put the top half. So basically, the top 16 draft grades and draft in order, who I thought did the best. And this is just my opinion. And you'll see in the last video I did about all kinds of different categories and where I project these players might end up be, and the fits and stuff like that to each team. Now, part two here. I also did the four worst as well on that, by the way, in the previous video. On this one, just off of the draft and free agency and the teams, since now we see what they got. I mean, yeah, you know, after training camp, preseason, there are some like cuts and add-ons and stuff like that, but those are primarily like second and last strings to make the teams and stuff in around the NFL. So I'm not gonna go that big on that. I'm not gonna use that against or whatever. Um, I am going to project. This is going to be my projection after the draft, and like I said, free agency and all this, what each team has got, what they've lost, what they can potentially lose, because there are some teams. But I'm going to put the seven NFC playoffs teams, and I'm going to pick the seven AFC playoff teams as of right now. And also, there is going to be a curveball thrown in on the AFC side, just because, and also on the NFC side, because you're going to see a team that's going to be off the board from the NFC side because of this trade that I really do see this going to happen. There has been some serious reports out there that it's almost a done deal. And I do think at some point this year or before this season starts or whatever, wherever in the next month or two, this trade's going to happen. I think it's inevitable at this point. And of course, I'm sitting here talking about Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of Green Bay Packers. And I do agree with the team that's being thrown out there right now. I do believe this is the team, mainly because they did nothing really to address the need in the draft, and that kind of threw out a big alert in my head. Yeah, I definitely thought they were in line for a quarterback, and they really didn't address that at all, which leads me to believe that they really feel strongly that they can pull this off. And honestly, so do I. So I'm gonna start out with division winners. They're not in any specific order. I'm not gonna do them like 1 through 7, but I am gonna pick the division winners. And it like I said, it's not seeded 1 through 4 for the divisional winners, or with the wild card 5 through 7. It's not going to be none of that. And we do have 17 games in the regular season now, so there is an extra added game for each team. And some of these teams really got in, definitely locked themselves in, because I definitely feel strongly with who they drafted and where they drafted them and stuff like that, that these are going to be very impactful players this year, and it's definitely going to help their team rise or fall. So here we go. I'm going to start out with, let's just do the AFC. Let's go with the AFC, and then we'll go with the NFC. AFC, my list is the Chiefs, divisional. I'm going to start out with the division champs. The Chiefs, the Bills, Cleveland Browns, and the Colts. That's somewhat basically the order that I think it's going to fall in, anyways. I do think the Chiefs will be the 1 seed. I do believe the Bills will be the 2 seed. I think Cleveland will be the 3 seed. I think they got immensely even more better. And I like what they did in free agency. And also, I like what they did. I really like what they did in the draft. So I think Cleveland is now going to get their first division title in a very long time. And I think they're going to have 11 wins at worst. At worst. And they also got the third. They finished third in the division. They made the playoffs last year. So they get the three, as in the division, they get the third easiest schedule out of the division. So they're definitely going to get 11. I'm pretty certain they're going to get 11. They could be like 11-6 or even a 12-5 team. Do not be shocked if they even go 12-5. Now, the wild cards, they can flip around, and they probably will. But I got the Ravens and the Dolphins. Now, the seventh team that I got out of the AFC, they did a really great job in the draft. I thought they did a solid job in the draft. But and I want you all to understand me, if they get Aaron Rodgers, they are making the playoffs, and they will be one of the 7 teams coming out of the AFC this year. Now, if they do not, they will not, and they will not be on this list if they do not pull Aaron Rodgers before the season starts. So, if around the season time, if they don't have Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking them off this as one of the 7 playoff teams in the AFC. This is strictly if they pull this off and they get Aaron Rodgers. And it's Denver Broncos is going to be the last playoff team that's on my list out of the AFC. I do believe Denver is going to get Aaron Rodgers in a trade. There are some serious reports, like even Mark Schlereth, man, you might want to go check out what Mark Schlereth said. He tweeted out. He put out a tweet, and then he was kind of like, he was on TV, on, I believe it was Pat McAfee show, and briefly explained it. And I believe Mark Schlereth, whenever it comes to Denver Broncos, I don't think he's not, like he said in his words in this interview, he's not about, fake news or nothing like that, or big news, or dropping out, news just to drop it. I firmly believe that. I've actually met and talked to him whenever I did security for the Super Bowl in Indy years back. Great guy. Just a great guy. I love the talk that I had with him. And he's a great I believe his source. He didn't get into complete detail. He didn't get into detail with it. But I do believe strongly that Denver is going to be able to pull this off. And if they get Aaron Rodgers, they are making the playoffs. They ain't winning the division over Patrick Mahomes, but they'll finish second in that division. Now, we're going to go on the NFC side. Things changed. Now, as you can imagine, I got Tampa Bay, Cowboys, and Seahawks winning the division. This other divisional winner. This will happen if, just like I said about Denver, if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay will not win the division this year. There will be a new divisional champ. So, with the 4th, I think they'll probably be, they might be the 4th seed. But this is me basing it off of if I do believe Aaron Rodgers gets traded, the Chicago Bears will then take the division. They have a bonfire defense. All they needed was a quarterback, And I think even if Justin Fields has just a solid rookie year, I think, and especially if Aaron Rodgers ships out of Green Bay, I think they drive up there to take the division title. So out of the NFC North there. So I think it's going to be a close race between them and Minnesota if he ships out. I think Green Bay may even finish third or fourth. I don't think they even finish ahead of the Vikings. Especially if they lose Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, I got Tampa Bay, the Bears, Cowboys, and Seahawks. Cowboys are to me, Cowboys are almost locked to win that division. You got your star quarterback coming back. That offense is legit, guys. It is top five all season, top five offense in the league. It's going to finish in the top five in offense in the whole NFL. And then I love what they did in the draft. And I think a lot of them are going to be starters on defense. And I think it is going to immensely change that defense. It is at least, at worst, going to move into the 20s to 6, somewhere between 15 to maybe the 20s, maybe 20th ranked defense. If they do that alone and go from who I thought was the worst secondary last year, it was between them, Seattle, and Atlanta. You go from solid, from dreadful to solid, that's your divisional winner. I mean, it's not just because I'm a Cowboys fan. That is just your divisional winner. Because with that back and that high potent offense, they're going to put up points. And then that defense is actually going to stop people, I think, this year. That's your divisional winner, not the Washington football team. Now, the wild cards. I do have the Washington football team. Even though they're not going to win the division, I have them finishing second in the NFC East. And they are going to pull out two wild cards. There's going to be two playoff teams coming out of that NFC East. And it's going to be the Washington football team and the Cowboys. I still think the Eagles are going to finish dead last. And I still think the Giants still have work to do. They did draft great. Don't get me wrong. The Giants drafted great. They're going to be a better team. But I just think that they picked the wrong quarterback. I don't believe in their quarterback, and I think that's going to be what's going to ultimately hurt the Giants this year. And I think after this year, they're going to go a different route at quarterback. I also have the 49ers making the playoffs. I think sometime by midseason, Jimmy G is either traded or he's benched. I don't think he's going to play. He's going to start the season, I believe. But by halfway through the season, I think the rookie overtakes him and takes a job away from him. And I actually think he does really good with Mike Shanahan. I think it's a really good fit, him and Trey Lance. So I just see the Niners, especially with that defense. I think that defense is going to get back to what it was a few years ago. And I think it's going to become a top 10 defense again all season. And I think the Niners are going to, it could flip-flop between them and Seattle who wins the division, but they're both going to make the playoffs. And then I think the Vikings. Sneak in as the very last seed. I think they will be the 7th seed to make the playoffs. I think they might win they might go 9-8 or 10-7 and make the playoffs there. I think the Bears will win 11 games, 10 or 11 games. They'll win that division by a game from the Vikings. But yeah, this is all. It could change if Aaron Rodgers does stay in Green Bay, but I project he doesn't. And this is me going off my opinion that he doesn't. I think that Green Bay knows that they have to trade him. He ain't, obviously, they know that if they don't, then he ain't getting an extension, and they'll get nothing in return next year. So I think they know what they have to do, and I think Aaron Rodgers has really forced their hand. Do I think that he should force his way out of Green Bay? No. Do I think he's a crybaby? Hell yes. Do I think he needs to shut up and play football? Yes. Do I actually think that Green Bay drafted good? Yes. They don't really need all these offensive weapons that Aaron Rodgers thinks that they need. They needed their draft and the linemen and stuff like that, and they did that. They went on defense and stuff like that, and even got him a good receiver who I think is going to work out really well with him. But we all know it's Aaron Rodgers' way or the highway, and I think he's going to hit the highway. And honestly, it's a good thing for you, Green Bay. In the long run, it's going to work out for you. I wouldn't want him on my team either as my quarterback, to be honest. I think he cries too goddamn much. Anything wrong on the field, every interception or wrong play, he always puts the blame on everybody else. I just think it's smoke and mirrors. And I think players don't speak out because they know how great he is. And it would make them look bad if they spoke out against Aaron Rodgers because of the pedestal that he's on. So I think there's a lot of teammates on that team that don't like Aaron Rodgers and definitely don't like his attitude because I sure as hell don't. But those are my playoff teams. Now, there are teams that are going to be fighting for the playoffs. You know what? I'll go ahead and do it right now. I'll do 3 teams that could sneak into my playoff prediction. It's Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think they should address quarterback. I think Big Ben, he's done. Not going to get any better. I don't like that they took Najee Harris instead of offensive lineman. I think they should have went lineman instead of Najee Harris. I think they need to get their line back and built their defense back up. Well, their defense is good. But I definitely think they should have went offensive lineman, build up that old line, then get a running back. Because in this league, if you ain't paid attention, if your old line sucks, your running back's going to suck. I know that Pittsburgh loves to run the ball, but if you ain't got no line, that running back's not going to put up that many yards. I actually believe that the running back y'all lost this offseason is not that bad of a running back. His line failed him big time. They were awful last year. I think they should have went that route. But, hey, you have Najee Harris. Let's see what he does behind that bad old line. But they still could do enough to make the playoffs. This may be a shocker to you all. But the Patriots, even though I do not like the Mac Jones pick, free agency, and they had 1 or 2 good players, I think, in the draft. Other than that, I still think they had a bad draft. They're in my bottom 4 of the drafts, just to give you all spoilers, but mainly because I believe they definitely reached for Mac Jones, and I think he's going to be a bust. But if he's not a bust and he does play well, then New England, with all their free agents, who they brought in free agency, this could very well be a playoff team. And then one more here. Why not the Chargers? After what the rookie quarterback did last year, and the Chargers actually had a pretty solid to good draft. The Chargers could be a sleeper to be one of those teams. So that's an extra 3 on the AFC side. They could fight in for that for the wild card, I believe. The 3 that could fight in on the NFC side could still be Green Bay. If they trade Aaron Rodgers, who knows? Jordan Love could be good. If Jordan Love is a good quarterback, Green Bay could be one of the extra 3 to get in there into the wild card. I don't still believe with Jordan Love to win the division this year. I do think that he could be, a good starting quarterback, but I don't think it will be if he has to this year. And then another team, it could be the Arizona Cardinals. Could really fight for a spot there. And the Los Angeles Rams. Like the NFC West, I really like. I like that the Rams do have Matthew Stafford. I think that really does help out their offense. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Like I said, that NFC West is going to be a juggernaut, and we'll see where they go. But I'd say those are the three teams there: Arizona, the Rams, and the Green Bay. I think outside the NFC South, I'm gonna feel bad for this year. I just don't think the Saints. Breeze retires. I think they're gonna have a losing record. I think Carolina's still gonna have a losing record. They have about another year or two, and then they'll be a good team. I think they still got to get their future quarterback. To be honest, they got to get their quarterback. Carolina's missing their quarterback right now, I believe. And then the Atlanta Falcons, I think they'll be better, but I still think they'll have a losing record. They got work to do. I think that defense is still going to be. It's not going to be as bad because they did get some, but it's still that defense has still got a lot of work to do. So yeah. So those are my predictions for after the draft and after free agency. Those are my playoff predictions as of right now. Preseason, workouts, off season. This is going into off season. This is what I got set. Now I know that you all may be shocked that I don't have the Titans. Yeah, they could be one of the teams there. Go ahead and take out Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh just doesn't make it. And go ahead and put the Titans in there. They could be one of those extra three teams that can make the playoffs. So I will actually I'll agree there. I'll make a case for the Titans to be up there as one of the top 10 in the AFC. I think Pittsburgh actually I think they fall off the map this year. You are not getting an 11-0 start this year. No way. I doubt after 11 games they even have a winning record, to be honest. I don't like Pittsburgh this year. I think you really, really see the not progression, but regression. Definitely this year in Big Ben. So, thank y'all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I will give y'all more sporting news later on. I'll do another video probably later on tonight. I got a lot going on today, but I will try to get another video out. Also, thank you all that did tune into my live stream for all the rounds every day of the draft this week. Really appreciate it. Thank you all very much. I know that it's a small channel because we're just starting out. I'm not going to give up on it. Yeah, there's so many channels on YouTube. You just got to fight and grind to become one of those main channels. And it's just going to take me time. And I'm gonna do just that. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep bringing y'all what I believe is good and great content. And feel free to please comment as well. I reply to people who comment. And thank you all very much. Also, catch me on Twitter at Rocky Sports, ROCKEY Sports. Also on Twitch, I do play games too. You all can catch me on there on Twitch. Rocky Sports Talk Sheet, one word. And as well on Facebook. I put these videos on Facebook as well. You all can follow me on there. At Rocky Sports Talk Sheet. Thank you all very much for watching the video. Thank you all who have supported me. And whenever eventually, whenever this channel does grow and it does progress, and we get that nice little YouTube plaque in the background and stuff, and we become official YouTube channel and stuff like that. At that point, then I'm definitely going to start throwing out rewards and stuff like that. I'm going to do giveaways and everything else. So just stick with me, stick around, make sure you hit the notification bell, and thank everybody for a great and fantastic draft weekend. Couldn't have done it without everybody. So thank you all. Peace out, everybody.